Hello and welcome to NA Regional Finals. Last day, game number 1.
One here. If you were looking for 6 days of riveting play, this is the one you're looking for. We're kicking off from Goobum's perspective right now. He has started off with a glove. And I'm going to be honest, Crowan, glove is one of my favorite items in this set because it really opens me to the Infinity Edge Jeweled Gauntlet line.
It's not an item that's going to be on players' priority list, right? We talked about a lot yesterday. It's going to be a lot of that belt, that sword, sometimes the bow. Actually, it is going to be a bro preference for a couple players in this lobby. And for Goobum's actually has said that sword is the preference. Going to be glove, however, it does open up some nice options. We saw some Darkflight, Rengars yesterday pop off. There is that kind of hype. Maybe the Rengar 3 could kill. Was it Sag at the end of yesterday? It wasn't able to happen, but glove, very nice component for those potentials.
I'm loving seeing it. And Goobum's, I think, is one of the players who, again, has this strong read on the meta, has a strong understanding of what opportunities exist, and he has been executing them very well so far. Volibear and Rakan showing up off of the stage 1 here. That's a great amount of gold to get. Pirate's Greed, a great opener if you can assemble that Mirage with a reasonable sense. And I'm seeing a Yone in the shop for Goobum's, but this sell would require you to take a little bit of a different line right now. It looks like he's going to be getting a bit more gold.
Yeah, can only hold on to so much, choosing to play the Rakan for the Guardians. Really wants to see the Jax come through. That would be Shimmer scale online. The amount of times people are able to convert off of that early Shimmer is so huge. Maybe the Augment will go in Goobum's favor as well. Show me the Shimmer.
Well, these are, it's nothing to write home about. Scope Weapons we know is a pretty decent one. However, I feel like Scope Weapons can cut into some of the Infinity Edge lines that are existing right now, and I definitely think that that's on Goobum's mind right now. You got a cloak, you got a sword, you got a glove. I'm certainly not making a QSS to start.
Wow, trade sector for Goobum's going to be leveling up, hitting that reroll, trying to find the Jax, but misses, unfortunately. 2 Dragomancer does go in. Volibear is such a strong game carry. It really dominated in day 1. Didn't see that much in day 2, but it's back, hopefully, to shine for Goobum's here in day 3.
Bloodthirster is making a lot of sense if Volibear is going to be in your composition for a bit.
Yeah.
Volibear, I feel like this is one of the biggest contrasts of having items and not in the early game. Volibear feels like a pretty good unit early on. I feel like if you have a strong item on this unit, it is a monster. There's
the Bloodthirster you were talking about, looking to punish Robin. Lock it through the Augment there with the better together. That's going to be so good. We've seen so many comps utilize it, namely the Surfing Graves, which coming today had such a high popularity rate as well. How contested is it going to be? A lot of players in this lobby do like the Surfing Graves line. Robin heading towards that direction, already as rich as well, has that 10 gold. Robin's so efficient.
Got a game pause here. Anytime a player is having a difficulty with anything, we want to...
And he's so intelligent in his approach and knows just how to make the most of it.
Yeah, and so we're getting back into game here right now, and we'll take a look at what's going on. I'm glad that we have gotten it solved.
There we go.
Pirate's Greed. Ooh, something about Pirate's Greed is just so satisfying when you're able to pick up that gold. It just feels so good. And that's a Swift Shot emblem I am seeing on a backline Yone right now.
Yes, it is. That's going to be potential cap Yone. Raimplosion going for that line. So interesting to see. Rain yesterday clutched on a couple times Surfing Graves, played the Soifin, played the Deja. Don't think we've seen her play Yone at all this tournament though, so she's pulling out the tech, pulling out the early aggressive leveling style to 5 to try to punish the rest of the lobby.
And this is a great way to get that win streak rolling right now. Can the Volibear be taken down? It is the main focus of damage. Yone not even having a trouble, just brushes his shoulder and dusts his hands. Sweep it up right now. This is 5 units coming into Goobum's face.
I love that Rain has leveled up and dealt 10 damage to Goobum's, because if you look at the stats, right, there's so many. Average damage dealt to players, Raimplosion is the highest among this top 8. And she's demonstrating why right now, being so aggressive, building out the early strong game board, and moving up the tempo of the rest of the lobby, forcing them to roll a bit earlier, forcing them to be in positions where they can't go 9, get those endgame cap boards, and Raimplosion always converts on that.
I'm seeing a Zhonya's on this frontline Volibear as well. You talk about another powerful item you can have. This is filling in the same style of role that a Bloodthirster will be. It is buy yourself time to deal some more damage.
Yeah. TG on the set, not a great roll there, but hopefully the 4 Dragonmancer Volibear can keep it pushing.
If there's a team I want to fight right now with this bad of a roll, I'll tell you what, it's probably this one.
Yeah, Soji's board not great right there. Has the Celestial Blessing, but the Volibear going to be trying to lay the smackdown down on this board. Can he, or excuse me, Kyvix do it?
His aggro is going to drop at some point here. Volibear's just a monster. Like, look at the damage that's being dealt here, and now it's just going on an absolute journey as that Nasus trying to get to the back line. No difference made. Soju taking a hit, and Volibear shining as one of the strongest ones. Raimplosion getting disrupted in this round as well, and this is a big one that I'm seeing. Kyvix still sitting at 100 HP, but nobody else is looking like they're getting a win streak going.
Oh, that's crazy. Robin, actually, we were making the good point that Robin almost never spends gold early on, but still has these really strong boards. But Robin's going to be changing the tempo today. He's going to be leveling up to 5 before the stage 2 carousel. Very unlike his play in the past couple of games.
Two things that I have my eye on here. The first one is going to be 2 early forges in play. So those are strong benefits that you get from that, and Prestivan having double trouble, really changing a lot of your perspective. How are you going to build out a team? What is the best team you could build out now? Because it's a lot of extra numbers you get with double trouble in play.
Prestivan, don't believe has any games on Dark Flight this tournament. Played a lot of Xayah yesterday, but still overall the popularity went down. I think the win rate of Xayah going from day 1 to 2 also went from 25 to literally 0%.
Yeah.
It didn't win a single game yesterday. Very, very telling of maybe Prestivan's going to shy away from that direction now and go to these other lines that are perhaps more consistent, have a higher cap.
When I went and looked back at some of the Xayah games that were won as well and kind of compared them to yesterday, I was just interested because Xayah is one of my favorite units.
Yeah.
One of the big things that was standing out was how players have their position rolling into stage 4. If it felt like if you were ahead, that Xayah just looked so much better. But if it felt like you were behind, Xayah was like, all right, I guess I'll settle for this one.
Yeah.
And that was just, I think, one of the biggest standouts that I saw. A lot of the Xayah games were just, that's when players were hitting the 2-star for. They had items to support it. Day 1, it felt like that players were so far ahead.
Ooh, Kyvix getting the job done.
Oh, I see. You had some tension built up in this one. I saw an Archangel staff with Azonias. That was a breezer for
tension.
me.
Yeah, it was easy for the Volibear. You weren't sweating. I was sweating here.
I just have that much confidence in it. Again, the opinions presented as fact dynamic. If Volibear had lost that one, I think I would have called in Bryce to see if that was legal.
Surely Bryce would have an answer out of anybody. It would be him.
Kyvix still on the hot streak right now, looking for a 5, has 20 gold, a strong board. No 2-stars that are standing out. I am liking that he put the extra Dragonmancer in play instead of focusing on the other synergy spots that could maybe come up. Just says, you know what, let's make the Volibear a little bit stronger. It's carrying all the items.
There aren't really any other synergy spots, right? Into range wing, the only other thing that could be played, but it doesn't have access to one of them. Kyvix, only player to be fully win streaking at the moment, trying to carry it fully forward, going up against Goobums.
Another Volibear. Well, now I'm lost on how to evaluate this one. I think that the 4 Dragonmancer may be able to hold it, but I'm seeing a Shimmer Scale, and that is Diamond Hands that eventually is going to be coming out of that one. Diamond Hands has just felt like a killer of an item right now. A lot of time frozen, but it's looking like it might be a Bloodthirster diff.
Wow,
Archangel's diff.
Is it going to be the Archangel's
I don't
diff
know.
as soon as the auto comes through?
Look at this absolutely heater of a fight. They're just smashing away, and there's the bolt with that Archangel staff. The extra damage is what makes the difference.
Wow, Kyvix full streaking, coming into the day as a jack of all trades when it comes to the stats, master of none, but he's showing that he is a master of the stage 2 win streak. Huge moving forward.
Wow, I'm looking at that bug at the bottom. Percent of games losing streak at 2-7. This is leading up to stage 0.
0.
We're seeing a 5.
Hey, that's time. This is where people are going to be pulling out all the stops, even if the data trends over 12 games suggest something. There is always a situation. That's why TFT is a beautiful game of variance, because there will be those niche lines that you're not as comfortable on, perhaps, not as practiced on, but you have to recognize when they show up how to execute.
Up to 50 gold. You have 1 item option on your bench. With a Zeeks and with a Hand of Justice, honestly, Runedan's Hurricane is feeling like it's not that bad right now.
Average gold for Prestivan at the start of 2-7 is usually the lowest of the lobby, and now he is the opposite is the highest. There's so much change of pace here.
I'm going to look at the health totals real quick. At the end of 2-7, he's normally at 93. That's not even close. It's like
no.
you just turn the 9 upside down.
Flipping everything on our head right now. Let's see if Precedent's able to make this. You still have the Double Trouble Augment, right? We have the Zeeks, we have the Runans, and the Hand of Justice Slam.
Pretty interested in the Runans being on the second Nidalee here. Says, you know what, I don't want one of these to be a threat. I want 2 threats in play.
Yeah, even though one's tier 2, one's tier 1, right? One's just that power spread out, not front-loaded in case maybe it gets stuck on something.
Interesting. I think this is probably a pretty great take considering how it's panning out right now. I don't know if you beat the Volibear.
Yeah, this Volibear is so strong. Kyvix leveling up aggressively.
I want the Runans back.
6. Yeah, don't have it though. Because of that, might take a couple extra damage. Oh,
it's a pretty good spot to
close.
take the damage though. It's a 6 loss streak and it's pretty low. So I think this is a pretty good loss for Precedent.
I think that Runans actually being on the secondary Nidalee might have cost Precedent a chance to win that round.
All right, a little bit of a tame 3-2 augment
Well,
here. Silver's not super powerful.
Yeah, what that did do, however, spreading the items is allow cybernetics to come through because you need at least 3 units equipped with a full item or a component.
Oh, that's exactly what he's thinking, isn't it?
It just might have been.
Oh, the hindsight 2020 is great.
There we go. The double Rengars come through. This is exactly what Precedent wanted. The Runans is one of bested slot items for the Rengar Hodge. Very solid as well. Just wants an IE to pair out with it.
Says no Cannoneer, I want the Assassins.
Oh, still 40 gold, even though he rolled at 3-2, has a healthy gold number, has Darkfights Online, has a pair of Phelios, a pair of Rengars, the Double Trouble. Even though Precedent has flipped his strategy on its head, he's making it work so well here, so efficiently.
This is such a great thing to point out here as well, is that he did roll, but he didn't have to roll that much. This is a major spike to where Precedent is going to be. We saw players roll down to 10 gold seeking out this double trouble aspect yesterday. 40 gold? You just have to be feeling like a monster right now.
On
look how badly he won this fight right now.
That's a crazy fight. On average, he's only spending 4 gold on 3-2. Didn't have to spend that much there. Certainly more than 4, but thankfully hit on the first couple of rolls, turns that loss streak upside down. Robin now towards the bottom of the lobby. He hits the Rengar.
You're almost missing something with this, but I'm seeing a rel in the shop.
Yeah.
I think the thing for Precedent is, do you buy it right now? Is this ever the extra gold option? Like, do you buy it after the round so that way you're going to have 2 Rengars in play, you're going to 2-star and then have another round to look for that Rengar afterwards?
Yep.
I think this is literally a, you know what, I'm technically stronger with 2 different Rengars in play. Let's do that. I'll buy this 2-star afterwards and look for the next one.
There we go. Feels a little counterproductive, but that's just the power of the Double Trouble Augment. Round starts, buys the Rengar. It'll tier up to 2 the next round. Maybe he'll roll a little bit at 3-5 to try to find the 4th Rengar, right? Get that power back online. That's such an early Graves on the other side of the board for Kuramex. Not quite going to be enough to win as just that Dark Flight buff. Aphelios Double Trouble, also a secondary threat.
All right. I didn't mention this at the start of it, despite the fact that Dan and Bryce had pointed this out. They said, well, Kurum just keeps finding Graves too. And I was like, you know, that's true. That is part of the clutch aspect. He is seeking very aggressively for it. To see the Graves right now, though, it's like, yep, he does keep getting to this point. It felt like it has been a key element of his strong performances thus far, but we have also seen him go completely different directions from this. And so as we kick off this carousel, we're getting an overall look at how the augments are panning out. Again, Silver Augment not super impactful in this one, but I'm trying to see where players' main focus are from their items. It feels like for Rainplosion's spot, something's really looking at popping off here, but every time someone has like a hesitation on what direction they go, I'm like, what are you trying to do right now?
Yeah, actually going back for a moment to the Kuramex Graves thing, I think over the past couple of days he's played Seraphine Graves 3 times, and they've resulted in a first, a second, and a third, so very proficient on that line. Robin
3-5
right
goes for it.
rolling,
I think that this is part of the health total right now. He's elected to go for 3-5, but again, this matches the data that we have had on this one, where Robin, when he's ready to go, he spends the gold.
3-5 is the go button. Doesn't find too much, however. A lot to work with, however. It's just a silver prep augment, but still wants to get all of that stacking. Looking like a Seraphine Graves pivot. Of course, it's going to be contested in this lobby. Has Better Together, which is one of the best, if not the best, augment for that composition. Already a Zeke's online, just needs to find the Graves from the Seraphine to have the gold to hit.
I don't necessarily even know if he needs to find the Seraphine Graves. I'm looking at a pair of Soraka's on the bench.
Well, is that just going to be a gold sync, or
no? Pair of Soraka's is great.
On level 7? This comp likes to roll on level 7. He's so unlikely to hit the Soraka too.
You know what? Soraka's going to give you extra HP.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a bit more defense on your side of the board, and you have preparations rolling on this as well. You know,
True.
Soraka doesn't ignore AP. She heals for a lot more
Yeah.
in a spot like that, and you have the Pirate's Greed going, so the gold is still coming in. You have time to keep rolling on this. I do think that Robin is going to continue to spend this because you do have to get this pointed out, but the preparation stacks, they change the way you're going to play the game. Having this board invested in, sure, you don't get as much gold, but you're going to have more board presence after.
So many units that Robin needs.
No!
The bench, yeah,
Don't
the
sell the
Soraka
Soraka!
pair was sold. One's still on the board though, so still gonna be healing it back up. Again, unlikely to hit the Soraka too, so it's just fine playing the one, you know, heal up a little bit of HP because Robin is rather low right now.
How dare you?
I know.
Live the dream.
Live the Rainplosion Soraka 3 dream. That's what Admirable wants to see.
I'm not going to disagree with selling the Soraka in that spot, but you are playing for first and second places in this one. Again, the top 2 spots, that's who's earning a place at the Dragonlance World Championship.
Exactly. So going up against Kyvix, who is still win streaking, looking to carry it all the way through the first 2 stages. That Volibear still tier 1, but absolutely massive in the damage. The Archangel scaling the hand just now to heal back up. As soon as that next lightning strike comes through, it's going to kill the entire board. Jax, however, dodging a little bit. Soraka not able to get the job done. Robin takes the 5th loss in a row, and Kyvix earns the 10th win in a row.
Stage 4 is coming up, and this is where players are ready to build out the boards. Robin sitting at the bottom alongside with Soju. Kyvix on a hot streak. Prestevant on a hot streak as well. There's still so much left to go. Kurum sitting near the top. This feels like it has definitely been in line with his consistency in play. Soju remembering, hey, wait a second, I need to get these preparation stacks. Last minute adjustment takes place. Fundamentals, still a big deal.
Definitely waits until the Wolves round starts rolling a little bit on 7, try to find the units to start prepping. Does that, is playing no synergies right now, actually, but that's fine because of the prep value.
Built diff.
Finds a Siphon.
Yeah, that could spell everything out.
Siphon angle is interesting here, but the items don't really lean towards that direction, right? Archangels. There's the Deja, though. That might be the hit that Soju wanted.
It is Pirate's Greed, so Deja would be here strictly for the strength of this unit. So it does feel a bit off to me.
Siphon.
I do feel like this is the direction to go. The Archangel's going to come into play on just a Karma right now. It says, I have to take advantage of this in some way. It is a fully built item. Still very strong. Back up to 41 gold here. And I feel like the items are still kind of spelling this out pretty nicely. You have Sword, you have a Glove, you have a Cloak, you have a Chain. So you get the Edge of Night, and now you are set up to make 2 more strong items for the Soifin composition.
The Archangels would be great if Soju can get to the most cap state of this board, which is the Soifin plus the Aurelian Soul at the end, right? When you get to level 9, that's going to be one of the most powerful versions of the composition. Not quite strong right now, however, just the Archangels on the Karma does not get the job done. And only 1 item across both of Shioyu and Siphon, a little bit too weak at the moment.
Oh, that's an open idea. Jadeheart has certainly been a standout power, and he's going to take Jadeheart here. No blame on that whatsoever. You have a Jace on your bench to support the Shapeshifter. It's an idea to hold these Archangels, all of these AP items to get to that endgame spot. I feel like Soju, despite the health total, is in a reasonable position here.
That he is, and he is comfortable with this line as well. There was a game earlier in the weekend where Soju also took Jadeheart, and I believe had a respectable finish. I feel like we see this little bit a lot where players are picking up the Guardian emblem. Rainplosion, the one to pick that up on 4-1. A lot of 6 Guardian Dejas.
Indeed. Kyvix leveled to 8. We saw a 2-star unit pop up on theirs. They're rolling. Goobum's hit an Itis 2 on 4-2 as well. Going up against Goobum's right now. You know, it's a pretty strong team on Goobum's side. You have a Diamond Hands, you have a Gambler's Blade, you have a Rage Blade, and a stacked Volibear.
Gubam's level 7, not too much health though. Lowest in the lobby. The Diamond Hands is going to be great, right? Invested into a higher cap and game board. Does have the Champion Duplicator still on the bench to work with.
Both
Might
dragons
be winning
alive.
right now, however, it's Volibear versus the rest of the world.
There's a lot of CC here as well. It's the charge from the Siphon. It's going to be the pop-up from the Xiaoyu. The Volibear's not getting it done.
No.
Gubam's taking a hit.
Ooh. Rough for Gubams.
Kyvix side of the board now. Thieves' Gloves, always liking that one. Resets those Shimmer Scale items. This seems to be a common practice if you have Shimmer Scale in play, is getting these unequipped and remembering to put them on the proper units right afterwards. Kyvix on a 12-win streak here as well.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised to see it given the team. It doesn't look that much different than Gubam's. Frankly, it kind of looks a little bit weaker to me.
There's so many statistical anomalies happening in this game already, Admirable. Kyvix is 0% in win streaking at, 3-7, but this is the first game he's doing it. Fully streaking, has a 5 Shimmer Scale angle, gonna be making a lot of gold from it. Determined Investor.
Rengars.
Cashed in.
Rengars is just absolutely taking out the back line here. The big difference for Kyvix is that he has Ascension in play, so this Volibear dealing that extra damage, it is magnifying the Archangels that you're going to get from this. The Rengar trying to race this down, but it is not going to get there, I don't think. It needs a crit. Not there.
Not quite. Kyvix is dominating this lobby.
Gubam's picking up a win, Rainplosion picking up a loss. Everyone else feels like they are dancing for the position in this one, but Kyvix so far has been on top of the mountain.
Setting himself up very well as highest average placement over the course of the past 12 games in this tournament. He's still in a good spot to be extending that lead past Rainplosion and reclaiming that #1 spot.
Robin a bit hesitant on the bow. Kyvix just sprints for the tier. Kermek's picking up a sword, I just feel like every single time. I'll grab the AD item.
Yeah. That's, AD Flex is going to be the Kerem lean most of the time. Sag, a standout player from the last game yesterday, needed that first place to advance to day 3, made it happen. Not likely to first place games, but kind of is mimicking Kerm in the fact that he's really clutch when he needs to be.
This board is a bit all over the place, but this is a major transition taking place. Parasarac or Xiaoyu gets found, so Soyfen gonna be the focus from here.
Okay,
but you gotta get a lot done here.
A lot done, maybe has the breathing room to do it, still middle of the pack of HP in the lobby, has a good couple of items for the Xiaoyu, for the Siphon. Titan's still on the bench, however, maybe Sag a little bit dizzy, not great utilization of the items, finally does go in, but there's a TG on the bench still.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot to take in, and Sag, I think, certainly feeling a bit of the pressure here. This is a high-stakes spot here for regionals, and this is the second tournament that you're facing. Experience spells out a lot here because you feel like some of that pressure is relieved. You talk to the players, they're still going to express it. They still have those nerves coming into this spot. Again, there's a lot at stake here. For Sag, though, these points have stood out on the data-wise. He has been the weakest player so far and just barely making it in to that third day here. Siphon 2 gets found, a champion duplicator still there. Where are you going to put these Thieves' Gloves, and how is the rest of this board going to work out? Because right now, I will say it's looking pretty strong. The Sunfire Augment, buying you that little bit of early time, and the Celestial Blessing. You have natural strength to your team.
Yeah. TG on the Pantheon, of course, great utilizer of those items. Not rolling down, though, is assessing the board strength and saying that my Siphon 2 is good enough throughout Stage 4. Likely to be the case, but still going up against that dominant Volibear from Kyvix that has still not lost a single round. The Siphon 2 might be enough to match it, however, just needs to get there. Needs to charge through.
It gets kicked away! And that's not the charge you wanted. The Volibear's still going. Gets stunned up a bit. Is this enough, though? Is this the spot?
Charge will come through. And that will spell the end of Kyvix's win streak. Not able to go all the way to Treasure Dragon. Still fine, though, but a big round win for Sag.
The king can bleed as Kyvix takes the hit. Soju, the only player with a highlighted win, as we are on the Radiant part right now. I feel like I've seen players roll so aggressively trying to seek out the item that they want from this Treasure Dragon.
Yeah, Rain already has really good items on the Deja. The Swift Shot variant of it means that, you know, likely you can play Guild with it. Guild Deja, a very popular composition, has the Twitch in there, still rolling. More Melonomicon and a Remover.
I feel like you have to be looking for frontline right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one thing you're missing.
Oh, so hard to pass up on the thing, especially like the Radiant Giant Slayer. Zeke's Harmony, however, there is a big argument to take that and how it's so good for the Deja, and that's going to be the pickup there. Still giving frontline items as well. There's a potential Protector's Vow to be made. Chalice as well to be buffing up both the Yasuo and the Deja. Rain Implosion is so good at finding spots where she can just be bailed out, right? Rubber Band all the way from the bottom lobby, way back up, make top 4s out of seemingly 8th place games. She might be doing it here again.
We saw her pass the Zeeks on one of these rolls, and I saw exactly why, as soon as you pointed out the Protector's Vow, why exactly she took this one. It's because the Chalice was also there with that front line. That is a wonderful understanding, because that's such a small nuance where you have a limited amount of time to identify something like that. The question is it strong enough to do this? And when I see that Siphon charge away, that is a big breather.
Oh. Charges towards the Deja, takes it out in one hit.
It's not a big breather anymore. I take it back.
Not a big breather, not at all. Deja not allowed enough time, and Rain Implosion takes a huge hit down to just 1 HP. Not the start Rain's looking for in this game. She still has the potential.
All right,
top
Deja 3.
Game.
Let's go.
Deja 3? No, surely. Yasuo 2, however, could be a big
Something has
find.
to happen here. Aurelion Soul gets picked up. A lot of gold
Yasuo
on your
2.
bench. Yasuo 2 is found. A pair of Aurelion Souls is here. How do you do this, though? You can't lose another round.
No room for error for Rain Implosion.
Says no on the Aurelion Soul. I don't have the items for it. Don't have the time. Don't have the gold.
Especially when it comes to the average placement. If Rain takes an 8th and Kyvix gets at least a top 4 or a first, should be feeling really bad about that one, the separation of that gap.
All right, I'm going to go back to the
matchup.
breathing room now. Kyvix has been holding the gold to go to level 9.
Yeah.
This is an okay one here. Your opponent doesn't have 2-star bunch of dragons across the board fighting a tooth and nail for a spot.
Surely this round will be fine. Yes, the Volibear not going to be able to do enough work here. Rain Implosion has rolled it down nearly to 0. Still a little bit of gold left. There's the Yasuo in action. 30,000 true damage. That's what it'll do to just one single unit remaining. Kyvix, however, putting himself in a spot. Look at the bench. Itis, Deja, Shioyu setting himself up for a capped Dragon's board. Kyvix converts on these so often.
You have the Ascension. You have a Celestial Blessing. You got a Forge item. You have the health total. You have the gold. You have the time.
Wow. Robin stuck on Graves 1. Levels up to 8, but doesn't have any gold to roll with to find even a pair of Graves.
Yeah, I feel like Robin has been just a bit behind on this one and wasn't able to find a board to piece this out. Like, we see what the rest of the players have, and then you look at Robin's board and you go, oh no, what happened? The answer was, you missed on this one. This is part of TFT. You are going to miss sometimes. The question is, what can you do when you actually miss? You know, we talk so much about first or 8th, and I feel like one of the big emphasis that I make with these players is like the 1st or 5th aspect. It's when you can turn these, what should be an 8th place performance, instead into a 6th or into a 5th.
Robin potentially out in this fight. Bottom right of the screen is Rain Implosion. See if she can hang on at the same time. But for Robin, the Aurelion Soul might be taking him out. Kyvix leveled, rolled a little bit, and has enough potentially. Aurelion Soul, huge hit. Takes out everything besides the Pantheon 1v1 situation.
There's a Zhonya sitting there still as well.
That there is. Robin takes the hit and goes out. Goobums does as well, though, and by -1, Goobums takes 8th.
One single health. One single health. I feel like this.
Wow.
What a gift from Mortdog in this one to just emphasize the point even more. It's like the 1st or 8th. Yeah, it's a 1st or 7th right now. That's what ended up happening. Goobum's going out in 8th, though. I feel like Goobum's had a strong spot to work from, and that I guess it just didn't get there. Rain Implosion sitting at 1 health for a couple rounds now, and hitting the Dragon Carousel as well. I feel like this is a major benefit for Kyvix.
It exactly is. Rain Implosion able to hang on by a thread as well. Dodging 8th and 7th here is huge for her.
There's not too much left to go for this board. It's a very much hit or miss kind of spot right now. You're looking for something extremely specific.
Kyvix in the bottom right, pairing a lot of dragons.
Yeah, let's not go against that one right now.
No.
Thankfully, you can't, from Rain's point of view.
We go up against Sag. That's the Soifin triple item on both of the Terrifying Dragons. Is Deja good enough to beat it?
Edge of Night on both of these as well. And when this Mystic is in play, plus you're getting the healing from a Soraka too, it is tough to chew through this line when you have one major damage source, and that is it. The rest of the board has been melted. Syphon's only got one place to go. Gonna pop up the Deja. Boom!
There we go. Dies of cutscene. Rainplosion dodges the 7th and 8th, but will be going out bottom 4 still in game number 1. Kurum drops 7 HP, soon to follow. Soju drops to 12. Sag, the only player win streaking right now. Sag limped his way through the past couple of days, but is still towards the top of the lobby here in day 3, really turning it around.
Only player with a win streak right now, or a hot streak rather.
Yeah. Kurum playing the contested Seraphine Graves, outplaced Robin at least, but still stuck on a Graves 1, rolled it all at level 7. Composition so popular, but playing it from behind seems to be so doomed.
He had the Graves early as well, so this is like a big miss.
Oh, Precedent has the Graves. Stole them all, actually. 6 Graves over there, both of them itemized. Double trouble. P-God is sending Liquid's hopes into the ground. First with Robin, now with Kurum.
The Bramble just buying so much time against a Radiant Infinity Edge as well. Kurum is getting knocked out decisively. But you know what? When you miss the Graves for that long and you make it to 5-6 and finish in 5th place, it's going to feel bad because it's the final day of regionals. Yeah. But honestly, that's a pretty good finish.
This is not atypical for Kurum as well. In day number 1, he started with a 7th place. He started with the bottom 4 as well in day 2. Bottom 4ing at the start of every single day, but still finds a way to clutch up and recover. So I'm not too worried about Kurum.
Soju is still demonstrating the fundamentals point. Let's get this stuff, some stacks on the bench right now. You have a creep round to do it. Titans showing up. I'm looking at a Siphon maybe picking those up. But Soju's pretty much out of gold to work with here now. You have basically one mission, and it's 2-star stuff.
2 stars, some stuff, maybe play the Siphon.
Position going to be a difference as well.
Yeah. Vertical Jade, though, again, Soju no stranger to that, was able to ride it into a top 4. Good recognition of where to play the Jade in a lobby where not many people are going that direction at all.
Trying to see if you can piece out the rest of it, too. Again, you're looking for miracle rolls in spots like these.
Yep.
It's not always going to be there. And since he cannot hit a Siphon 2, he's going to hang on to this 13 gold, it looks like.
Still a very expertly crafted board. No Siphon 2, but the Shioyu might be enough to get the job done. Jace with TG as well is going to be running into Kyvix in this matchup. Not too much you can do in terms of positioning because it is just a world of dragons from Kyvix.
The Shioyu, though, the positioning. Shioyu going to work towards the back line right now. Aurelion Soul's going to get a clip, but Shioyu finds its way to the Aurelion Soul. The Zonya's going to peel off the aggro, and look at the breath from Shyvana just wiping the board away. However, Aurelion Soul looks like it's going to fall down, and Shioyu has a ton of healing and a ton of damage. Can this win this fight despite the fact that it's outnumbered right now?
It might have been exactly what Soju needed. Shioyu tearing through the rest of the dragons one by one. Aurelion Soul went down. Now turns attention to the Terra, now onto the Idis, the last one to remain, but Idis doesn't do damage, and Shioyu does. Soju makes quick work, easy work of Kyvix's board.
And that's exactly why this Soifin comp is so powerful, is because when you get the right positioning,
Kyvix,
you get the right answers, but a 3-star Idis. So, but here's the thing. We just saw the weakness on Kyvix's board. It wasn't that he didn't have a front line to hold, it was that the back line got accessed, and there wasn't a way to deal damage once that was taken down.
Now it'll come through into how Kyvix positions the Idis. Wanted it in the front middle because 18% damage reduction from the Terra Hexes are great, but that doesn't matter right now. Again, see, positioning it off of it. It's an Idis 3. It doesn't need that. It just needs to be in front of the threats, and it is in this fight versus Sag.
In this spot there, again, the positioning, I feel like, just makes so much of a difference here. This Aurelion Soul has no threat in this fight versus the previous fight where the threat was in Aurelion Soul's face right away. So Sag in this one I don't see a way that they defeat this board right now, because even with the charge, look at how much damage this Idis is preventing. It is giving a full shield and a full heal to your team. If you don't take out the units, you are not taking them out if this Idis casts.
Every single time Kyvix has landed on a Dragon's Endgame board, 3 times has been first, and another first. Kyvix looking to make it happen again here to start off day 3 of the NA Finals.
Look at that number in your bottom right. How on earth do you make it to level 9? This 50% of the time?
That's the stat that Kyvix is one of the best at. We've found it. That is the standout statistic.
Soju going out in 4th in this one had a wonderful positioning, but not able to get it done. The rest of the lobby just feels so strong. And right now, this was a bit of worry of mine, was these Rengars from Prestivin's side of the board. They get to the back line, the Bard getting shredded, the 3-star Rengar gets clipped by the Aurelion Soul, and this Idis, as long as the Idis doesn't get focused here, I feel like that maybe Prestivin had a chance, but it all is going to boil down to how this Aurelion Soul scales. You're getting a great image of it right there.
Oh, Prestivin was 1 Graves away from Graves 3, not able to take out that as many units as he needed, though. Just barely falls, and now we have our top 2. Sag, second place in LCQ, makes day 3, making a potential statement game here on day 3. Guardian. Kyvix loves the Guardians.
Goes for the Bard with a Shojin here, and I will say that Sag definitely has to have Mystics in mind coming into this final spot. How do you make the most of it right now? Because this Soifin board has shined through. And with a 2-star Shioyu on your bench, you are reaching for the stars a bit here, but when you're up against a galaxy of a team that's been put together here from Kyvix's spot, what else can you do but hope for something like that?
There's really not much else. Have a perfect Zephyr, somehow get the Shioyu into the back line, but there's 3 frontline threats. How do you get past all of them, Sag?
Zephyr might be the case, but
there's one.
The Idis is only up in the air for a bit of time. Shyvana jumps away, but now the Idis has landed. I do not feel like the damage is here to chew it away. The charge may be able to get there, but that's not the right way!
Siphon getting baited into the back line allows the Aurelion Soul time to scale. Each black hole coming through is so devastating for Sag.
Wow.
That one wraps up that fight.
And Kyvix has 53 HP that you have to get through as well. So it's not only just winning the next fight, it's like winning the next 5.
It is a climb up a mountain right now for Sag. Doesn't even find the first foothold to make it up there. Not looking good in the last round. Bard 2, but I don't know if that's enough. The remover onto the Zephyr. Again, you can Zephyr 1 frontline unit, but you can't Zephyr all 3. This might be all she wrote.
When I see that Zephyr, my thought is, you know what? I'm not going for the front line at this point. They're going to go for the front line again here.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how you defeat this board right now. You don't have access to this Aurelion Soul right away. And again, this kind of shines back to the positioning. We saw Soju get that Shioyu to the back line, and it feels like Sag hasn't been approaching that spot. The Siphon not getting to the back line either, and the Idis just absolutely unkillable from this spot. You have to take out the Aurelion Soul. If you can't do that, you can't do it at all.
Pantheon's in the back line, but there's just so much shielding. One more cast from the Aurelion Soul is going to do it, Sag.